Moon. As you can see, Moon is filled with craters, right? It was not like that 30 years ago. Everything that we see today with those craters are not there. Just give me a second. Dark side of the Moon. They never show you images from the dark side of the Moon. The Moon is hollow also. From the other side of the Moon, believe it or not, a strange shadow comes out and in. They call them fast walkers. This is taken from the Apollo. So you can see a dark fluid form of life which is penetrating the Moon area, and there are plenty of video evidence on the DVDs that I have for you guys, and they call them, as I mentioned, fast walkers, very black shadows that moves very fast and penetrate from Moon directly to Earth. So this is another one. When the real society actually existed, and when the Nazis start to understand more about propulsions, because they sent an expedition to Desert Gobi, India, and they retrieved some of the Asian Vimanas, if you will, or Astras, and they start to employ this flying technology. They were going to Moon also. Afterwards, all the German scientists actually was employed by Americans. That was the project Paperclip, if you will, and some are employed by Russians. And there were wars actually that were going up there. So take a look at this. This is the Tycho actually crater. Two objects. Those three objects are human in origin. As you can see, one will be destroyed by the nuclear blast. There it is. So you can see this is before the blast, a huge antenna, more than 500 meters tall, and that was after the blast. What I'm trying to say, they had erased almost all images before 1970, if you will. So all those things that we are seeing today are a result of the nuclear conflict. So you have to understand that there is a level that I can go into this. This is found in Sao Paulo. As you can see, it's a predator type of being. Again, it's in black and white because it's in infrared. It's taken a shot directly from the space shuttle. So you can see how huge this is. This is the Sao Paulo. So they found huge antennas underwater in many locations on Earth, and they started to pick up certain frequencies. So what I'm trying to say, many of those UFO crafts that are not human in origins, they go in groups and they follow the signal that are coming from those grids. Afterwards, the shadow government started to build a grid on its own, if you will, and use it for their navigation, if you will, right? So they also have seen that they're using certain frequency to come to the crop field, and in order to measure, they build obelisks. Those obelisks emit and transmit electronical impulses. They're not just to watch, to hear what people are talking, but also to pick up certain stuff, if you will. And it's all about these obelisks. Those obelisks are very dangerous because they serve like an acupuncture to the planet. They can direct energy one way or another, but also they are antennas, right? Even from the Nazi time, they started to picking up from Egypt, and they bring them to Germany, to England, to Italy, to many places around the world. And those actually obelisks are even in the United States. So it's all about secret societies, if you will. Okay, let's move to more, how should I say, bizarre things. So you will see actually the nature of the negative and aggressive NTIs. It goes way back to Egypt, if you will. So this one is depicted directly on one of the tombs. There, as you can see, they are bringing a fish and meat to this entity, if you will. So you can see more clearly there, right? So I have seen those entities myself, and as you can see, this one has appeared materialized in one of the televisions, and it was checked. It was a genuine image. It's the same one, but this one is in dressed in odor, as you can see. Without this, it looks just like this. So you can see they're offering gifts for food, so it's predatory, if you will. Other one, Nagas. This is found on the X-ray, if you will, when they were exploring one duck for test or something, and they found this Naga, like a snake type of beings that are found, so you can see. And those beings are very, very, do not look at these eyes, because they are very, very telepathic, if you will. Another type of creature which just goes like that, which is very aggressive to humankind. If it comes in contact with this, it's just very aggressive, if you will. The other one that we just spoke about, right? It's the same. The Chitauri, this one was found in Mexico. This is also very aggressive, but they managed to shut them down. So you can see this one was found in New Zealand actually, and this one in Mexico. As you can see, elongated skulls, long teeth. So what kind of creature were walking upon the face of Earth in those times, if you will, right? This type of creature was killed in Panama, went out from the cave, and a group of teenagers that were doing climbing actually got scared by this creature, and they started to throw rocks into this, and they managed to get a hit, and the creature fell down on the rocks and it was killed. They went down to get the sheriff and the rest of the people. When they got these images. So another type of skulls were found everywhere, if you will. This is an image that is genuine, which is also they're trying to fight for the life of this entity. This is in Stonehenge. Again, they're depicting a tall grey, if you will, right? So it's quite there. If you go to England, Stonehenge, you will see it. This is taken by a few, how should I say, hunters. They were just putting infrared cameras in order to hunt, but in one night this thing appeared. So this type of beings are also very negative, very aggressive. This was delivered by one lady that escaped Area 51, and she was describing that there were huge vats and huge experiments going there. So whatever it's worth, those crafts actually belong to those. It's the same creatures that you're seeing this. So this one appeared actually in Mexico. Two guys were just playing around, playing football with a ball, right? And when the ball went down, a person went to grab it, and for the pillar there was a creature that actually went straight out from the pillar, tried to grab it, and this guy panicked. He was a Spanish guy. He started to panic in Spanish. He said something is trying to grab me. And this thing retreated back, and there was nothing there, right? Because, like I said, they use different dimensions. There is a ship that is here, but it's on different dimension. We cannot see it, right? For us, it's just a pillar from this side. The next day, there was a huge fast. There was a news, and few people come with a Geiger measurement, and they measured actually the radiation there. Everywhere around it was a normal radiation, but strictly around the pillar there was a many times increased radiation, if you will, right? All those people that we see on the political, how should I say, elite are actually influenced by the certain entities, as you can see by this one in the background. That's a very powerful, and because many of those are implanted, this is our problem. Secret society, the sign of the snake. And like I said, the whole political elite is involved in this. So many of the entities actually are shape-shifting. As you can see, this one, you can go to Fox Television, you can download the news, and you can apply some software for the video analysis, or you can take to some expert to break it to frames and then to pixels, and you will see that evidence is quite there. The skin, which appears normal, then moves, turns into green, gets greenish, and that's where the chromosome balance starts to disrupt, and they become more like a python type of skin, if you will, right? So this is also a big problem. It was taken in during the 9/11 event. As you can see, creature actually was photographed like this. Believe it or not, 9/11 was a very, very organized thing. It has nothing to do with terrorists or with pilots that have only, let's say, 10 hours of flying experience. What I'm trying to say, the engine of the airplane are mostly from titanium. Titanium is so strong it cannot disintegrate into thin air. There's some evidence that will be left. There was nothing left. Airplane went in, from the other side UFO went out. We have seen plenty of evidence where actually UFOs actually just change shape and they move into the airplane, how should I say, appearance. So you can go like this. So there are many good movies like Zeitgeist, like many other how should I say, video evidence for this, but they never covered this, because yes, it was a combined job. There were explosives put on the pillars and they were cut 45 degrees with thermite explosive, which actually fall 8 meters per second, but actually it was induced by these crafts. So, like I said, there are plenty of evidence. You just have to go and search for it, right? So the airplane just went in and the UFO went out. But that's not the problem. This is the real problem, the astral entities that are from the lower astral dimensions, if you will. So if you just see this structure and you just draw a line, you will see what I'm talking about. And this one, as you can see, as the explosion went off, this was on the run. This massive sacrifice, actually, and why two pillars in Masonic tradition is like a portal to hell, if you will, right? So another type of creature which is documented. Whatever it's worth, I know that this will not be understood properly, but I was told that there will be a nuclear detonation in New York City in 2012, and the responsible will be Grey Collective. So all those you can see, we are seeing on the political establishment I always follow. So you can see from, if you recall, from that lady that mentioned, those are very similar type. Okay. So like I said, the real panic began when they start to find that people that were abducted had implanted micro devices that had a gray shell around them, which actually provided a nerve stimulation, and that body actually does not recognize like a foreign object, because if it's recognized that it's foreign object, there is an infection. In order to prevent this, they had put like a gray shell around it, which is so precise, so advanced, that actually fuses with the nerves on that area, and this produces actually and emits and transmits electrical signals. So that means that they can control your mood, your health condition, they can stop your heart, breathing, whatever they want to do, right? They started to find them everywhere, and there are at least 3 surgeons in Australia that are removing those objects, and when they were sent to the laboratory, the tests shown that they have no match in the periodical system of chemical elements on Earth, if you will. Another one. Some are very tiny, as you can see. What I'm trying to say, I know it will sound way off, but it's happening. There are equipment that is functional out there, HARP, Star Wars weapons, and many other, how should I say, gadgets, if you will, that are used by those elite structures. So they are natural made ones during to the changes of the solar system and the energy that is approaching towards us, changing of the dynamic of the sun. So all those actually combined disasters will increase as we go towards 2012. And now we had experienced floodings in Queensland, but I can tell you this, it's far from over, guys. It's just temporary. So many times, many things will start to shift as we go towards the how should I say, the middle of 2012. What is the catch? If this energy comes to us, it touches us, it will cause mutation. That mutation will actually provide us that we recall everything that we've been in past incarnations, if you will. It will provide us all the power of the consciousness, and we can be safe. But if we are moved out of this system, and this energy does not touch us, we are left with double helix functionality, what we have today. That means that we will be in prison for a long, long time. So that's the ultimate plan of the dark force, if you will. There are many ships that we cannot see. They're under cloak. They're waiting there. If the humanity does not pass the test, many that will actually leave the physical bodies will be taken into containers. They will put like a coma state, and they will be taken to other systems far beyond the reach of the approaching nexus or the energy that has a capability to reactivate our potentials. So, just in case, you can take it whatever you feel like it, but it's mine to pass. Just,
what's the motive?
Sorry?
What's the motive of that
Look, many of those entities use us. Some are using us for food. Some are using for energetic food. Because without food and without liquid we can live for a while. But without sleep we will die after 3 or 4 days. Why is that the case? Because when we go to sleep, our essence is moved into its astral body, out from the body, and it generates energy everywhere from the astral plane. When you wake up, actually all that energy is distributed into the energetic channels and chakras and all the structure, and you feel functional again. So many of those species are using like parasites, that energy that we produce, but they are also searching for something else, right, that I will explain in the end. But like I said, many of those are not polite and are not positive, right? So usually people experience things that they are afraid to talk with other people because afraid to be ridiculed or to be laughed at, right? Many people are actually experience those things. So many times when this is on the run, you can see that there is a zooming sound, the Kundalini energy. They rise the Kundalini energy, and they move the astral body out. They pick up, teleport the physical body, and they do the checkups or whatever. They extract from the sperm or whatever it is the case, right? So this is one of the things when people experience sleep paralysis, if you will, right? And the only way to fight it is to evolve. So many times there were lights or lasers also shut down. From the evidence we recorded, we have more than, let's say, 3,000 evidence of the genuine things, right? So you can see like this, they're just firing a beam of light in that house, and the dead person disappears, but they left no recall. So that is why I would just recall back to the retired surgeon, Derman, what was his name? Sherman, yeah, who was saying that actually sometimes people remember like residual pain, like potentially for recall, but most of the time that is blocked from the conscious memory, if you will, right? So many times it's just like a liquid type. You start to fall into like a hole that sucks you, and you have no power to fight it, right? And like I said, the zooming sound is always there because its Kundalini energy is supposed to fire the astral body out, right? So many of those, how should I say? So why I'm saying all this, with double helix functionality, we have no defense against these events, right? Because they are moving through dimensions, they are moving through walls. When the shadow government started to catch them, they were getting away through the walls. They were just teleporting, and they introduced the Faraday cage, because through the Faraday cage the signal cannot penetrate easily, and that's how they started to keep them, right? So you can see actually they're everywhere.